Shalom, giving all praises, honor, and glory unto Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shai Bahashem, Rachachudash. Double honors unto the elders and apostles of Great Millstone that rule well, and a sincere shalom to all of you Akim that are pushing this word around the globe with faith and truth and sincerity. I'm Caleb from the GMS London Forecasters Camp, back with another lesson to help edify the Lord's elect. As always, I like to start with saying that we are the real Hebrew Israelites, and the real Israelites, these so-called Negroes, Latinos, Hispanics, Native Americans, West Indians, and West Africans predominantly, but you will find Israelites that do look like the other nations, because we as a people have been scattered amongst all nations throughout our various captivities. But if your seed line by your forefathers goes back to the man in the Bible that was named Israel, then you too are an Israelite, no matter what you may look like, because the book of Numbers, chapter 1 and verse 18 states that your nationality is determined by the lineage of your forefathers. So, I was watching this week's live camp by the apostles, and they mentioned something as they were teaching, and I thought, you know what, man, I could do a little lesson on this topic. So, Lord willing, it'll be edifying. Basically, I was just watching the apostles, and Apostle Tahar said something very interesting. And it's something that obviously we in the truth know, but I thought it would be good to speak on it a bit. Apostle Tahar basically said, like, that we never really die. He says nobody ever really dies. You know, the scriptures tell us that we all sleep. And that's true, because there's many precepts in the Bible which talk about the life of man, and what many would consider to be death. But really, you know, the Bible speaks about reincarnation, because reincarnation is biblical. Now, when we talk about reincarnation, we're not talking about how, you know, some of, like, these bugged out, Hindus believe that if you do certain things in your lifetime, you're going to come back as a fly or a dog or anything like that. No. Biblical reincarnation is that you come back in your lot. So if you were a man, you're going to come back as a man, and you're going to come back in your lot, meaning if you're an Edomite man, you're going to come back as an Edomite man. If you're an Ishmaelite man, you'll come back as an Ishmaelite man. If you're an Israelite woman, you're going to come back as an Israelite woman. Yeah, you might come back through a different tribe. Like, in one go round, you might be Judah. In another, you might come back as, I don't know, Ephraim. But you're going to come back as an Israelite, if that makes sense. Just keep it, not to go too deep, just keep it simple. If you're an Edomite, you'll always be an Edomite. If you're an Israelite, you'll always be an Israelite. If you're an Ishmaelite, you'll always be an Ishmaelite. If you're a Moabite, you'll always be a Moabite. And you're always going to come back in your gender, like you're always going to be a man or a woman. Whatever you are, you're always going to come back in your lot. And as the scriptures also say, the spirit of the prophets is subject unto the prophets. So if you was a prophet in times past, you're going to come back in your lot and be a prophet again. So let me get some precepts on this point. So bear with me. It's Deuteronomy 31 and 16. Deuteronomy 31 verse 16 says, And Yahweh said unto Moses, Behold, thou shalt sleep with thy fathers, and this people will rise up and go a-whoring after the gods of strangers of the land, whether they go to be among them, and will forsake me and break my covenant which I have made with them. So this is pretty much to the point. And Yahweh said unto Moses, Behold, thou, meaning Moses, shall sleep with his fathers. Now, this is a good example, because we know that Moses, in that go-round, he was a Levite. Him and his brother were Levites. But when Moses came back in the reincarnation, he was King David. And King David was from the tribe of Judah, if I'm not mistaken. So that proves the point that your spirit will come back in its lot, meaning that you're going to come, if you're an Israelite, you're going to come back as an Israelite. You might come back from a different tribe. You might look a little bit different, but you're going to have it's the same spirit coming back in its lot. Here's another one. 2 Samuel 7 verse 12. And when thy days shall be fulfilled, and thou shalt sleep with thy fathers, I will set up thy seed after thee, which shall proceed out of thy bowels, and I will establish his kingdom. Let's read this. Read into it. This is 2 Samuel 7 verse 7. In all the places wherein I have walked with all the children of Israel, spake I a word with any of the tribes of Israel, whom I commanded to feed my people, saying, Why build ye not me a house of cedar? Now therefore, so shalt thou say unto my servant David, Thus saith Yahweh of hosts, I took thee from the sheepcote, from following the sheep, to be a ruler over my people, over Israel. And I was with thee whithersoever thou wentest, and have cut off all thine enemies out of thy sight, and have made thee a great name, like unto the name of the great men that are in the earth. Moreover, I will appoint a place for my people Israel, and I will plant them, and they may dwell in a place of their own, and move no more. Neither shall the children of wickedness afflict them any more as before time. And since that time I commended judges to be over my people Israel, and have caused thee to rest from all thine enemies. Also Yahweh telleth thee that he will make thee an house. And when thy days be fulfilled, and thou shalt sleep with thy fathers. See that? So when King David's days shall be fulfilled, meaning when he have lived all of his years that is been appointed, he shall sleep with his fathers, meaning that he shall die. But it says he shall sleep. So as I say, there's no such thing as death. And when you think about death in this manner, it doesn't seem as scary anymore, because you understand what's really going on. Like, for example, I've said this before at camp, and I don't know if I've spoken about it on a video, but I'll say it now. Every day when you go to bed, you lay down, and nobody realizes the exact moment when they fall asleep. It's like you're there for a minute, and then all of a sudden you wake up, and it's the next day, if the Lord has granted you another day. Remember, no man's promised tomorrow. But you never remember the exact moment where you actually fell asleep. You always remember, like, maybe the build up a bit. You might be lying there on your side, looking at a clock or something, and all of a sudden you wake up and it's morning. Well, so is the way with death. Like, we don't really die, we just sleep. There's a point where, you may be there for a moment, and all of a sudden, boom, now you're in the spirit realm. So it's like, when you go to sleep every night, that's the Lord showing that, you know what, he can kill you, but he can make you alive again. Because when you fall asleep, it's almost like you're dead. Then in the morning, the Most High wakes you up, if it's his will to do so, and you rise again. So that shows you that the Most High has mercy. He's showing you constantly, look, I can put you down and I can raise you up. Now, if you look at life in that manner, every day when you go to bed, you fall asleep and the Most High wakes you up in the morning, that should give you great confidence in terms of the fact that the Most High will raise you up again. See, because a lot of atheists in the world, particularly Edomites, if you ask them, what do you think happens after you die? Oh, well, there's just nothing in it. There's just nothing. Well, we know that's not the truth, because the Heavenly Father raises, he will take a spirit down and he can raise the spirit back up again. So we know that there is a future. There's no sort of like you live one life, you die, and then that's it for eternity. That's some bullshit that Edomites have concocted to try and negate the fact that they're going to have to pay for the wickedness that they've done. They're going to have to pay for the wrongs they've done. And they're going to come back in their generations and fulfill that punishment of that iniquity. So, Acts 13:36, okay. It says, for David, after he had served his own generation by the will of God, fell on sleep and was laid unto his fathers and saw corruption. But he whom the Most High raised again saw no corruption. That's speaking of Yahushua, because Yahushua was dead for 3 days and he raised up. So his body didn't, degrade in like the way others' bodies do, like, where it decays and it rots and worms come up and, there's just a skeleton left. That never happened to Yahushua. King David, on the other hand, when he passed, he saw corruption. His body passed away. The bones probably remain, but his flesh was consumed and corrupted and fell away. But then King David came back in his generation as the Apostle Peter. So we never really die, and that's the point I was trying to get to. Now, there's an account where Yahushua raised up this girl, and people were laughing at him because they thought she was dead. Let's get out. This is there's a couple accounts. Let's get Luke. Let's get John 11 and verse 1. Now a certain man was sick, named Lazarus, of Bethany, the town of Mary, and her sister Martha. It was that Mary which anointed the Lord with ointment and wiped his feet with her hair, whose brother Lazarus was sick. Therefore his sister sent unto him, saying, Lord, behold, he whom thou lovest is sick, meaning that this is one of Yahushua's friends. And when Yahushua heard, he said, This sickness is not unto death, but for the glory of God, that the Son might be glorified thereby. Now, see, the Most High made Lazarus sick so that Yahushua's miracles could be manifested. Verse 5, Now Yahushua loved Martha and her sister and Lazarus. And when he had heard, therefore, he was sick, he abode 2 days still in the same place where he was. Then after that he saith to his disciples, Let's go down in unto Judea again. His disciples say unto him, Master, the Jews of late sought to stone thee, and thou goest thither again? Yahushua answered, Are there not 12 hours in a day? If any man walk in the day, he stumbleth not, because he seeth the light of this world. But if a man walk in the night, he stumbleth, because there is no light in him. These things said he. After that he saith unto them, Our friend Lazarus sleepeth, but I go that I may awake him out of sleep. See, that's what I'm saying. As Apostle Tahar said, nobody really dies, we just all sleep, right? Then said his disciples, Lord, if he sleep, he shall do well. See, they didn't really understand. Howbeit Yahushua spake of his death, but they thought he had spoken of taking his rest in sleep. See, they didn't have the understanding at that time, the apostles, the disciples at that time. Then Yahushua said unto them plainly, Lazarus is dead. And I am glad for your sakes that I was not there, to the intent ye may believe. Nevertheless, let us go unto him. Then said Thomas, which is called Didymus, unto his fellow disciples, Let us also go, that we may die with him. Then when Yahushua came, he found that he had lain in the grave 4 days already. So Lazarus had been dead 4 days, right? Now Bethany was nigh unto Jerusalem, about 15 furlongs off. And many of the Jews came to Martha and to Mary to comfort them concerning their brother. Then Martha, as soon as she had heard that Yahushua was coming, went and met him, but Mary sat still in the house. Then said Martha unto Yahushua, Lord, if thou hadst been here, my brother had not died. But I know that even now, whatsoever thou wilt ask of God, God will give it thee. Yahushua saith unto her, Thy brother shall rise again. Martha said unto him, I know that he shall rise again in the resurrection at the last day. Yahushua said unto her, I am the resurrection and the life, that he that believeth in me, though he were dead, yet shall he live. And whatsoever liveth and believeth in me shall never die. Believest thou this? She saith unto him, Yea, Lord, I believe that thou art the anointed, the Son of the Most High, which should come into the world. And when she had so said, she went her way and called Mary her sister secretly, saying, The Master is come and calleth for thee. And as soon as she heard of that, she arose quickly and came unto him. Now Yahushua was not yet come into the town, but was in the place where Martha met him. The Jews then, which were with her in the house, and comforted her, when they saw Mary, that she rose up hastily and went out, followed her, saying, She goeth unto the grave to weep there. Then when Mary was come where Yahushua was, and she saw him, she fell down at his feet, saying unto him, Lord, if thou hadst been here, my brother had not died. When Yahushua therefore saw her weeping, and the Jews also weeping which came with her, he groaned in the spirit, and was troubled, and said, Where have ye laid him? And they said unto him, Lord, come and see. Yahushua wept. That's a heavy verse, man. John 11:35, Yahushua wept. Then said the Jews, Behold how he loved him. And some of them said, Could not this man, which opened the eyes of the blind, have caused that even this man should not have died? Yahushua therefore again groaning in himself cometh to the grave. It was a cave, and a stone lay upon it. And Yahushua said, Take ye away the stone. Martha, the sister of him that was dead, saith unto him, Lord, by this time he stinketh, for he have been dead 4 days. See, so his body was starting to see the corruption. Verse 40, Yahushua saith unto her, Said not I unto thee, that if thou wouldest believe, that thou shouldest see the glory of God? Then they took away the stone from the place where the dead was laid. And Yahushua lifted up his eyes and said, Father, I thank thee that thou hast heard me. And I know that thou hearest me always. But because of the people which stand by, I said it, that they may believe that thou hast sent me. And thus when he had spoken, he cried with a loud voice, Lazarus, come forth. Now, it says, verse 44, And he that was dead came forth, bound hand and foot with grave clothes, and his face was bound with a napkin. And Yahushua said unto them, Loose him and let him go. Now you got to put your mind in this situation, man, because imagine that, right? Yahushua came on the scene and said for them to roll the stone away from the mouth of the grave, right? And he called unto Lazarus and told him to come out. And this guy came out that was bound in the garments that he was wrapped in for his death and his burial. That must have been like a terrifying sight for those that were there, because you can imagine like a zombie film where a zombie crawls out of the ground and starts walking. That's not a very common sight. That's a miraculous thing to see. So when this guy came out of the tombs, they must have been shook, man. Like, whoa, he was dead 4 days ago. Now he's walking out the tomb. And they took his burial clothes off. And it says, Then many of the Jews which came, verse 45, then many of the Jews which came to Mary and had seen the things which Yahushua did believed on him. Right, so that was the point. The Most High killed Lazarus so that Yahushua's power could be manifested in raising him up to convert them which believed, which saw the miracle. But verse 46 says, But some of them went their ways to the Pharisees and told them the things which Yahushua had done. Then gathered the chief priests and the Pharisees a council and said, What do we? For this man doeth many miracles. Yeah, so I'm going to stop it there, because that goes into another point of where they conspired to have Yahushua captured and killed. But that's the point, man, because as Apostle Tahar said in the video Life Camp, nobody really dies, we all just sleep. So I just wanted to do a little lesson touching on that point. So Lord willing, it's been edifying. There's other scriptures I could get which touch on this point, but I think the point has been made. So with that, giving all praises, honor and glory unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Kakadash, double honors unto the elders and apostles of Great Millstone at Well. Shalom to you, Arkim, teaching this word, and I'll catch you on the next one, Lord willing. Shalom for now.